King of hard R's, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Two Broken Escalators number 33. I'll be changing it in the title in the next few seconds. My name is Noble. It always has been and always will be, unless, of course, I legally changed it. I'm the future face of Twitch, blah, 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 blah. Enough about me. Today, I am joined by the new male star for the Pantene commercials, Kyle. How the fuck you doing with that beautiful head of hair you got going on?
Well, I'm doing lovely. I was actually just saying to my brother, um, I'm gonna trim it. I'm not gonna cut it, but I need to trim it because the back is a little too unkempt, so it has to be tamed. It's kind of it. I wanted to not cut it and just ride it out, but I don't think I have the balls to do it. I think you have to trim it up a bit. So it's gonna take a little longer to actually grow it out to where I want it, but it'll make it full. You know, it's like an onion. You gotta have layers.
Boo. Does
So
your dad have longer hair?
no,
Do you think you'll ever have longer hair?
he had.
Or do you think you'll stay with longer hair forever? Excuse me.
I just want to see how it looks. If I don't like it, I'll cut it.
Hmm.
It's really just like a why not? I'll try it out. Um, I'll always have hair, like my dad, my mother's dad, his father before her, him. They all had hair. It just turns gray, which will happen.
Yeah, we've talked about you being a silver fox before, but I'm just like, if you'd ever go short. When's the last time you were short? Like 2 years ago? 3 years ago? You've been a long hair guy for a while now.
For about a year, yeah.
It's been long.
It wasn't. It was like probably Cody's length. It was like to my nose, but like I always keep it back so you can't really tell. But now it's getting to the point where like, you know, even if I keep it back, you could tell it's really long.
Yeah, like I'm 3 inches right now, fully erect. I'm like 3 inches, and my hair is not that long.
No, the
But
thing
it's
is,
long for it's long for me because I haven't
big
had it
head.
long in a long time.
I have such a big head that
You
like,
do have a fucking head on you, dude.
even though my hair's long, it doesn't look that long on me yet because my head's huge.
If you
And I'm,
put
like,
your
7'3"
on like a 7-year-old child, it would be down to their ass. You have a
Yeah,
fucking
that
head on you.
you'd rock a janitor ponytail if it was on a 7-year-old for sure. You know exactly what I'm talking about too.
I think I do, and that's sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, chat, it's been a week. Community, Twitch, stream, YouTube. It's been a week since we've seen you. Some things have happened, some stuff has happened. I'm mostly going to use it as a transition, like a stepping stone type of thing. Did you see the Four Connor stuff?
Something about the N-word. That's all I saw.
Yeah, he DMs got leaked. He was saying racist shit, sexist shit. You know, the usual stuff people go down for, except he tagged like racist, transphobic, sexist, homophobic, blah 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 blah.
He got the hold on yards. Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
I don't care about that too much because
Is he single?
because he's a Twitch streamer. But if you transition that thought, like the mistakes that he's making, the mistakes that he made, I know that you mostly know what happened with Chris D'Elia and Brian Callen. And then it will lead to a conversation about Cardi B in a little bit, but I will get to that in a second. It'll make sense when it all ties together.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You probably do. It's not that hard to pick up if you know anything about her. But what do you think about? We live in a society. What do you think about? We often talk about cancel culture, but what do you think about these people being put in this position and then never being able to be forgiven? That's one part of the cancel culture, right? Where if you fuck up, that has to be the end of you. If you're canceled, that means you're done. Like they never want to see you work again.
So let me just clarify. Someone that he DM'd all this to leaked it? Like on purpose?
No, it was in a group chat. He's an idiot.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It was in a Discord server. I don't know if like it was with his friends or something or like other DJs.
Okay.
And I was explaining it to my chat today too. Like people are gonna say fucked up shit. Maybe not to that reach, but
depending on like I guess the Discord server. Like if it's his stream server, like you can't say that. I mean, okay. So I guess here's my take with limited knowledge. People should be allowed to say what they want. Like I'll always defend people's right to just say whatever they want. Behind like closed, say whatever you want behind closed doors, none of my business. Make whatever joke you want with your friends. I don't care, Like, if they say something that I hear and I don't like it, I just won't talk to them. I'm not gonna go out of my way to tell everyone their business and try and cancel them.
You're an
You
adult.
know, that's that's none of my business. I got my own stuff to worry about. Um, Obviously, if it's affecting more than just me, if it's affecting friends, family, like anything like that, then yeah, I have to say something. And if it's not something like I'll say something to that person directly. So if whoever leaked this DM felt offended and then they went and spread the word instead of talking to him about it, that's messed up. They should have went to him directly and talked to him about it. But there's also a chance they did and we don't know about it. And he was like, "No, I don't apologize for what I said. I don't care who's offended. I'm going to keep saying it. Whatever it is." Then okay. Um, but if he wants to keep saying it, go ahead. And as long as he's aware of who's hearing it and the reaction, then he just has to accept it. But the problem is you have people that will take it too far, right? Like we saw with all these people getting canceled for just like random accusations. Um, you can't. I don't think you should be able to take away from people's pockets based on something they say that wasn't meant for the public.
So my perception, because like I've never, I've the extent of sharing my DMs is like to fuck with other friends.
Hmm.
Like someone said something funny about somebody else, and then I'll send it, and then we'll all have a laugh about it, and then we'll go on about our day. But do you think that they feel a sense of justice or heroism from the fact that they're like, I brought this to light. This guy
Yeah,
will not. And obviously, it's very different. Like, so I think there's branches to it, right? It's like if you're making legitimate jokes, like you don't have to be a comedian, but you're making legitimate jokes. They could just be unfunny and people can disagree with them. But if you're making
yeah,
jokes, if you're just like posting racist shit in a board, if you're saying like incredibly offensive shit, or if you're talking about children, right? There's like four different branches. There's never going to be a good conversation that involves children at all. Those people are done. There's never going to
hmm,
be a good conversation that involves children. Um, but I feel, and I've probably said it in the podcast before, I feel like a lot of comedians stress about this because if you don't find your audience, you have to be tame about what you say. And I'm very lucky that from day one in my community and in my Discord, it's like, I don't care who you are. You could be the weirdest, most awkward, most uncomfortable person on the planet. You could have all the baggage in the world. But if you come into my community, what I created, you are going to understand the jokes that we think are funny. And if that makes you
yeah,
uncomfortable, then I don't want you to be here because I have a certain toleration and a certain like methodical approach to how I take care of the people around me and how I want them to represent not only themselves but each other. So if someone says something like heinously racist in chat, I'll be like, okay, well that has to go. If someone says something slightly racist, but it's really funny, I'll be like, yes, go ahead. Like say what
that's a
you need
good
to
yeah,
say.
it's a joke. You
It's
can
a
make a
joke,
joke.
and I
Yeah,
can understand that. From coming from my background, it's like, oh, Noble, you're white. My mother's literally brown. So it's like, oh, Noble, you have all these things. You are not capable of making fun of these things. You also need to be something to be able to make fun of it. So now every time that I ever make any offensive joke, I'm just going to show people my black family and my Mexican family, my Italian family and my Jewish family and be like, "Well, I can make all these jokes because they're a part of my family. I'm allowed now."
welcome to my stand up. These will be my jokes.
Yeah, you have to like present your jokes beforehand. It's like, uh, can I make fun of because first like it's race and then it's sexism and then you can't make fun of people's image and then you can't make fun of people for fucking I don't know smelling bad.
The thing that's yeah, the thing that I think is interesting is that this is very much an online culture thing. In the real world,
No one cares.
it's not a big deal. People, sometimes, you say the wrong thing at work. Yeah, you should go to HR, get in trouble, right? Like, it's not the time and place. But like, you hang out with work friends and people like maybe who don't spend a lot of time on the internet. They have multiple jobs, kids, they're outdoorsy type people. It's not as big of a deal to them. I noticed. Just as I meet more people
They have
who
shit to
aren't
do.
involved in the internet, yeah, they have life commitments. They chose hobbies not to be raging at video games, which, you know, to each their own.
All right, teach their
Um,
own. Hold on.
but I wanted to address the of course said I just had to deal with this class. This girl tried to validate cancel culture. It's never been good. People just want to be part of a panopticon. I don't think you can say it's definitively good or definitively bad. I think there are good parts to it and there are bad parts to it, like everything else we've ever talked about
I'll
in this
play devil's
podcast.
avocado. I think it's
Yeah.
bad.
Okay. So you don't think there's anything good about it, or
I think it's
you
doing
think the bad outweighs the good?
yes. I think it's done more bad than it has good.
Okay. That I would probably agree with. I don't think it's to the point where we should get rid of it, because I think it's calling people out and making people aware and scared to, really mess up.
That's actually the perfect word that was just brought up in chat. I was gonna say accountability. Like you need to
Yeah.
hold people accountable, but the difference between like someone fucking leaking your DMs or something, or like someone like how Trump had a private recording that was taken from years ago. It's like you can hate the guy all you want, but the the amount of fucked up shit that I know that each one of you in chat have said to your friends behind closed doors, and that you said to your parents and to people you love, like come on. The only difference is that you guys aren't in the spotlight, so you don't have to receive the backlash for it. Also, on top of that, ranting, lost my train of thought, reel it in, get the hamster wheel turning. Um, Fuck, lost it, had it, lost it, lost it, had it, gotta fill the dead air. Start singing, start singing, start singing.
Me or
Uh,
you?
yes.
Happy birthday.
I think that you talked about being in the real world and you talked about the HR thing. It's like if you're gonna say something fucked up to a coworker in a work setting, you need to understand that that is the real world. The real world. Like you're gonna get punished for it. You're gonna be held accountable. If you say something in a DM from 13 years ago to someone you don't talk to anymore, and they now have a vendetta,
A
they now have a vendetta
vendetta.
against you. So they're like, um, who's who's that really famous Spanish girl? She's like the face of Skechers.
Skechers.
She's dating Shawn Mendes.
Oh, it's Selena Gomez.
No, the other one, the other famous Spanish girl.
Could have sworn it was her. Oh, Camila Cabello.
Yes, would never have gotten that name. Yeah, she
She's
dropped.
from Fifth Sense 5, something like that.
I don't know what that is. She dropped
Yeah.
an N bomb when she was like 12 years old or something, and she had to write. You know what? I won't say that because I don't know when she said it, but it had been years prior.
I
And
thought you were gonna say she had to write it 500 times on the chalkboard.
could you imagine? Um,
Bart Simpson punishment.
yeah, she had to write this whole. Like you see all of these apologies all the time. It's like these people don't mean that. Like who does? If you ever get to a point, and there will probably never be a point that I apologize to my stream or my community for something I did that's fucked up. Unless I genuinely I will apologize to like the people that I care about first and foremost. But when you do something so heinous as saying the N bomb when you're 13, when you do something so heinous and don't be loud. When you do something so heinous and so evil to where people demand an apology from you, they're not going to be satisfied. I don't recall where I read that, but like these people that you're saying sorry to aren't the people that want to see you say sorry. They don't care.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this actually. Yeah.
They just want you to be hurt and suffering and lose whatever opportunities you can.
Oh man, where do we? I feel like we talked about it when someone had to like issue an apology.
Dude,
This is one of the first episodes we did. I think we actually talked about it. That's weird. I just had like deja vu.
we're like an old married couple.
Yeah, true.
To bring up a point that was brought up in chat before, there are comedians that have been canceled recently in Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia, but those were sexual assault allegations, which we will get to because they just came back. That's why I'm bringing that up, Kyle.
Oh, okay.
But there was a comedian in some New York City bar that started saying some raunchy jokes, or like a nightclub, and the owners or like the managers came up on stage. It was three Asian girls, very pretty Asian girls, and they're like, "We didn't think he'd make these jokes. We're sorry." And the comedian's like, "What?" What is happening right now? Let me see if I can find the name for you. Read that comment in the meantime.
I was gonna. What pissed me off most is when a kid says something that getting
Reread it and read it out loud.
fired from something or. All right, it's a little confusing. Hold on. What pisses me off most is when a kid says something and they end up getting the kid's parents fired from stuff or something like how far is too far for the people who get off in the pouch. Oh, okay, that comes with cancel culture. I hear you. So like if the kid's in school and he gets in fight and drops the N bomb about the other kid, the parents get in trouble. Okay. Um, does that happen often?
I don't know, dude. I haven't fought a kid in at least a week.
Yeah. So if something happens at in independent business location, they obviously have the right to deny whoever they want to, right? Um, I don't know if I mean, I'm sure it's happened. You wouldn't bring it up if it hasn't, but I haven't heard of anything. But I can imagine a world where, like, you know, you say something stupid online that it goes like so public that like someone you're related to has to get fired because of who they are, which is kind of scary, right?
Oh. Did you see?
Having to be accountable for those. Go ahead.
Is you thought about like people getting fired, blah blah blah, and it got the wheels turning. I know they turn slow. Did you see that Cuomo? That's the governor of New York, right?
Say it
Cuomo?
again.
Cuomo? I don't know what his name is.
Cuomo.
I don't know
Yeah,
what his name is.
it's
I don't know what the
Governor
U is. Cuomo?
Cuomo. Cuomo.
Oh, thought there was a Q in there. Did you
There
see?
might be. It's a silent Q.
Did you see that New York City was responsible for like 1/3 of the COVID deaths, and he is under hot shit right now. They're doing the same thing with the governor of California.
He's been under hot shit since the beginning of this pandemic.
Yeah, apparently
The
he's
problem
doing.
is there's too much traffic in New York in and out of states and countries directly to New York. I think he could have done a lot better, but I don't think I mean that's kind of how I feel for the country, but
We'll get back to the lockdown in a second because I want to talk
yeah.
about that. But the comedian that was canceled on stage, um, on November 30th, 2018, Saturday Night Live writer Nimesh Patel was performing the Columbia University Asian American Alliance Culture Shock event, partway into a set that contained offensive and harassing material. He's a comedian. Patel was asked to leave the stage by event organizers. Patel published his version of the events in the New York Times. This is what really happened, according to the former president of Columbia University's Asian American Alliance. I'm going Asian. You can have three A's, but you can't have three. Probably shouldn't say that. By now, you may have heard that Saturday. Okay, blah blah blah. Most likely, what you've read thus far about Patel's performance at Culture Shock has been wrong, or at least it paints a totally incomplete picture. Here's what really happened. Culture Shock is a popular event. How long is this?
I don't know, 74.
Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. Mainstream media has focused on the joke that Patel told during his set, but has utterly failed to report other important details. For example, about 30 minutes into his set, he started badgering a woman in the audience about what her parents did for a living. She responded multiple times that she had nothing to share about her father because she hasn't been in contact with him for a while. To the audience, it was apparent that she was uncomfortable with the attention and the invasion of her privacy. Don't go to a comedy show. Don't go. Don't go. Yet Patel continued to push even despite the growing silence that took over the audience. Worst crowd ever. Patel persisted in asking multiple inappropriate questions of this audience member, like, why don't you know your father? Why aren't you talking to him? An attempt at comedy quickly soured into unprovoked personal harassment of a student. Culture Shock's ethic is to empower people in their identities and experiences. Why are you having a comedian there? But Patel's demeaning performance was instead subjecting an audience member with unwanted public scrutiny and putting the rest of the audience on edge. It was at that moment when the three show directors went on stage and let Patel know that his set was ending early. Student reporting inaccurately described a joke about gay and black identity as the sole reason why Patel was asked to leave.
Sounds just like it was the last straw, that joke, not like
Yeah,
that was the reason why.
it's the mistaken idea that he was leave to. It wasn't, and Patel makes no mention of the other jokes. Patel admits that he wrote the joke and it may be hacky at this point. If you ever have to apologize for comedy, those aren't people that you should be performing to.
Yeah, that's kind of just a
A lot of
sad world
comedians
to
don't
live in.
perform to college kids anymore because they're just like, I don't know what to do with my Joe Rogan won't perform to college kids because he's like, I need to talk to adults. They're not adults. They're
Yeah,
adults because in age they're adults, but like if you're a freshman in college, you have
you have,
nothing
yeah.
in your brain.
Yeah, you really don't until like you either live on your own or you work a real job, like you pay your own bills. Like that's when you really grow up.
Yeah.
You know,
If your
you
parents are
don't.
sending you to college, you're not an adult.
Yeah,
You're gonna
you
be
don't.
tried as an adult when you fuck up, so you better respect that, but you're not an
That's
adult.
the important part, right? The law sees you as an adult, so you
Yeah.
better behave like one. But like, you're still a kid.
You're not an
I
adult until
felt
you're
that
like
way when I was in college.
I think for the vast majority of people, they're not an adult till like they're 25 to 27 years old.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there's people that behave differently. Like
Yeah,
yourself might like in my mind you were a young adult from when I knew you. There was like a different way you carried yourself, and that's because you had parents that were just like, no bullshit, Kyle. Like you're gonna have to figure yourself out.
yeah, no, for sure. And so yeah, some people are forced to grow up earlier because of like life situations, right? But some people also don't have to grow up until their house just got bought for them and the new car they just got. Like some people don't ever grow up; they die young. It's a little dark.
So anyway, Nimesh Patel, I believe that was his name, got canceled on stage, and that was a big idea in the comedy community for a long
That's
time.
sad.
Um, Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia both were canceled for sexual assault. Brian Callen vehemently denied all of the allegations, but was still canceled for it and had to step down from a lot of shows because it would have hurt his coworkers. Because obviously you have those allegations looming, yada yada yada. And then Chris D'Elia, I believe, admitted to some of his allegations. I don't think there was anyone underage. Do not quote me on that. This is a formal statement. Do not quote me on that. I don't believe that there was anyone underage, but he did apologize and he just had a video that came out about a week ago.
About a
On the
week
other
ago.
side,
Sorry, he just got out of jail too.
on the other side, do you know how Cardi B has been so unapologetic of the history she's had with men?
Yeah, I think I know. I don't know all of it. I'm sure, but I know what happened.
The base of the story that I know,
But remind me of the whole thing. Yeah.
what I know, and to be very simple about it, is that she was a stripper, I believe, an escort. I don't know. Someone's gonna fucking send me a DM in 2 years, be like, strippers and escorts are different people. I didn't say they were the same thing. I just got it wrong. Leave me alone. Um, she was a lady of the night. Nice save, Noble.
Good save.
Save. She was a lady of the night, and she was drugging men and stealing their possessions, cash, etc., etc., etc. Now, she is someone that has bragged about this. Maybe she's put it in songs too. Yada yada. Could
Pretty sure that's the
you
song.
imagine? Could you imagine if a man did this stuff? A famous man did this stuff?
Maybe one that his name is like Kill Bosby or something. Oh, that's a rough name to switch the letters on. Oops.
Could you like? Not to say that men and women haven't done this stuff before. It's like I always gotta fucking walk around my words, but could you imagine if someone in the last 5 years did this stuff? Like a prominent white male. Could you imagine if Steven Crowder did this stuff?
Well,
Oh my god, they would fucking burn his house down.
even the accusations of it
Yeah.
would
He
get
could
him
have
canceled.
receipts to the date, to the second, and they would burn his house down.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's tough. There are definite differences between men and women.
Yeah, we spent a bit of time talking about it today. I knew somebody that accused one of my friends of sexual assault. I think I've told you this story. And I was like, okay, like what tell me exactly what happened. Like I need exact information. This is a very serious situation. This is a very serious accusation. I believe I said those exact words. And the person goes on to say, well, he might not have really, but like I felt like he was gonna. And
Oh, I've heard. Yeah.
I go, what? It's like,
Oh my god, I remember where I was when you told me this. How weird is that?
do you?
Yeah, I was on lunch break at work. I was sitting in the parking lot of a train station, and I remember like exactly where I was. That's so weird.
Like, dude,
Dude, the brain's weird.
what are you telling me right now? Like,
Yeah.
that cannot be a thing. You can't just say you're gonna ruin that person's life.
Yeah, the words are too powerful to just put that into the world.
Two words get thrown around a lot now, by the way.
Is it
Rapist and
SA?
racist
Oh,
get thrown around. What were you saying?
sexual assault.
Yeah. Sexual assault slash rape and
Yeah.
racism get thrown around so much now.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit's crazy.
It's scary because there. I mean, there are racist. Gotcha. It's scary because yeah, they could really change people's lives. It's just it's tough to find a middle ground because you want to encourage all the people that it happens to come forward. You don't want to discourage victims, but you also want to make it so false allegations are tried just as seriously. So it's hard to find that middle ground. It's I feel for the the judicial system that has to deal with these cases. It's very tough.
Closer to your mic.
What? Oh, let me just move it. I don't want to move them comfortable. Is
Uh-huh.
that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people, that's the aspect that our definition of sexual assault is changing. That's true too. Just don't fucking touch people that don't want to be touched. Doesn't have to be
That's
sexual assault all the
really
time.
what
Just
it comes
don't
down
fucking
to.
touch people.
Don't touch me. Okay. Glad we solved that issue. Me
Some
too, people.
woman a few months ago, maybe a year ago, was like, "I'm a hugger." Like, so she came. It was like my first time meeting her, and she hugged me. I was like, I could literally have like contactive AIDS. Like, what are you doing? Contactive a word? I don't think it is.
I don't think contactive AIDS is a thing.
Oh, what do you know, science man? Where are your degrees?
Right on the wall. I have a degree. Literally right there.
Do you?
Yeah, it's my college degree. Bachelor of Science.
Worthless? You got a bachelor in science?
No, Bachelor of Science. I am a science bachelor. No, I have a BS in criminal justice.
Oh, what do all those Bunsen burners do, baby? I'm over the Me Too
Yeah.
people. It's just gone too far. Yeah, people. That's the thing too. It's like people's always abuse it, and now it's like believe all women. All of them? Who has a joke about that? Was it? I think Burr or Rogan has a joke about that. A joke about that.
I don't know. Nothing's coming right to my head.
Nothing's coming right to my head. It's like believe
Right
all
to
women, and
head.
one of them goes, "All of them? Really? You want me to
no,
believe all of them?"
you know who that sounds like? It sounds like a what's his name? The one that got canceled, Louis C.K. That sounds like one of his jokes. It might not be, but he was
Well, he
canceled quickly.
also was jerking off in front of women. That is sexual assault.
Is it sexual assault or sexual harassment? I guess it depends on the definition.
If the bodily fluids leave him, is that assault? I'm trying to be a science. You have a bachelor in science.
Ask Cody, he's a lawyer. Sounds like Burr. Yeah, it does sound like Bill Burr, actually. Really? All of them? I could see him getting hot-headed at that.
Do this. Believe all women.
You can never hit a woman. Really? Not one reason?
Yeah, that's a different.
I come home, she's drowned 2 kids in the pool, she's about to drown the third. I can't hit her then? You're gonna have to let her drown the third kid.
Alyssa Milano on how she would advise Joe Biden. What?
That might be a Tosh joke too. Oh, there's so many good comedians.
You can pee on someone and be charged with assault, but assault doesn't actually require touch. Oh yeah, so if he gooed, Louis, what are you doing?
Gooing.
The thing, I've never felt the urge to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go fucking jerk off near that person.
Where are you going?
It's a big power thing. I understand it. I won't say I don't
Yeah.
understand it because I certainly understand it.
That's got to be like the most uncomfortable interview they've ever been in. Interview situation, script read. I don't know when they did
I'm gonna drive through.
it.
He was taking the order.
God, yeah, no, that's a weird one. That's a weird kink, for sure.
Did he or did he? He definitely was jerking off near some people.
He was, yeah, he was definitely going to town.
To like his room.
He could
or
have.
something. There was, so like the thing about Me Too, this is Aziz Ansari. Is he like even out there anymore? They tried to cancel Aziz Ansari, and he got in trouble just for being. Was it Aziz Ansari? It was one of the prominent Indian actors. He's Indian? Am I a racist? Is Aziz Panistaki? What? Pakistani?
Panistaki.
Aziz Ansari. Aziz Ansari is an American actor. Well, that doesn't help me. His parents' names are Fatima and Shukath. I think he's Indian.
I don't know.
Am I a racist?
Louis C.K. hit him with the "I hate to see you go, but I'd love to watch you leave" while he was touching himself.
Then he just get jerked off because I think his argument was they were free to leave and didn't, so he kept going. But do check that. I'm jerking off in here. What?
That's just not a good image.
It might not be Aziz. It might have been Aziz, but it might not. There was a prominent Indian actor. Again, could be Pak Nisnani, whatever I said before. That was just like awkward in his apartment. And then the girl was like, he raped me. He's like, no, I didn't. This is exactly what happened. I'm sorry.
He's like, I never touched her.
Yeah, he was just like an awkward guy.
I think it is him. I remember hearing his name involved in something like that. I think you're right about that.
Dude, they were doing it like every other week. You know what made me think of all this stuff?
There was a few weeks in a row. Yeah, I remember that.
They were just fucking hitting people.
Yeah.
And people were like, I have all of this stuff that proves that I wasn't there. The reason that I was thinking about it was because fucking Amber Heard was a spokesman for the Me Too movement, for women being battered. You don't know who Amber Heard is?
Is that Johnny Depp's wife?
Former wife.
That's it.
Who beat the fuck out of him and cut off his finger? Shit on his bed?
Did she do that?
Yeah.
Well done. That's just hard to do all that, you know?
It takes a lot of her. Yeah, so she was like acting like this battered woman. And she was the face of this Me Too movement. And apparently she was the abuser. Wait, cut off what? She threw a bottle at him and it cut off the tip of his finger. When it exploded.
Could have been worse.
Could have been much worse. Also, when glass explodes, it's just like, oh, fuck. Like, get out of the way. Anyway, that's why I thought of all that stuff. Apparently, if you really don't love someone, shit on their bed. So, Kyle, I have some bad news for you.
Oh, no. I have to change my sheets tonight. Actually, thank you for reminding me.
What do you think would make, from what you know about me, we were talking about this the other day. It was myself, my lovely girlfriend, our little pet, Cody, then his racist buddy. We were all sitting around talking about what would make me the most upset. What would finally cause me, like, just to have an anger stroke that you guys could do? Because they were saying it would all be things in succession.
That we could do?
Yeah, that you guys could do. Because they were saying it would all be things in succession. But, like, in succession, they all asked me or did, like, incredibly dumb things within, like, a span of 3 minutes. And I was just like, oh, I gotta go. Like, 3 people that I love so much were just like, Cody said something that just unreasonably dumb. Mariah was talking over or asking questions about something, just like not paying attention and then not understanding when she wasn't paying attention. And then I was like, racist Jake, you're my one saving grace here. And then he fucked it. He fucked it immediately. He fucked it so fast, Kyle.
Did I know where their armor and magic is?
He was the golden child, and he fucked it so fast. So, do you think there's any one thing that's just like my eyes roll back into my head, and I'm just done?
I don't think there's one thing that any of us could do. Like, I don't think it's one thing
I get
because
real close all the time.
we've done such stupid things and you haven't done it yet, right? Like, I don't think if we did something even worse, it would be like, I gotta go. It would just be like,
No. It's not. It's not like I'm gonna go. It's like I get so angry and so tired of you guys that I just die. Just can't do it anymore. Because I know that I'll. Because I know if I will continue living, that I will continue to have to spend time with you guys.
I don't
That is
think there's
easy.
anything I could do. I'm not bold enough to do something like that. Jake, on the other hand,
You're just a continuous asshole. You're not like gonna reach.
and it's not a surprise. Like, you expect it, so you know
I
it's
guess that's
within
fair.
expectation. So it's not
I
like
don't like
it's out of the
if we're
norm.
having a good day and you throw a mean comment in there. It's like, okay, this is a slightly worse day, but I still like the guy.
Yeah, it's just like it's not like a day ruiner, you know. Like, um, Jake, I think would be the one to do it. Cody, you have tolerance for because again, it's built up over time.
Yeah. He says a lot of dumb shit all the time that I can just like in one ear and out the other.
See, but the thing is, Jake's dumb shit is the regular, but he has the potential to go really dumb that I don't think we do. Like incomprehensible, unintelligible, mumbling, incoherent rant about just like God knows what,
I think like if all those
and
things,
you
if
die.
it happened within like, so if I picked up my phone, so
You
say
have to be having a
someone's,
bad day.
I have to be having a bad day already, and then say someone starts calling me, just like blowing up my phone during the podcast, and then
Mhm.
someone keeps running in and out of my door over here,
That's a
and then
good
all
one.
those three things happen, and then you're late to the podcast, and your audio's cutting out, and you have to leave
Yep.
early.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm eating.
And you're fucking eating.
Um, you're having computer issues. What else is a good one? There's a lawnmower outside.
Just a bunch
There
of
could be a few
things,
ones.
a
Yeah.
bunch of things that I can't control, and then my friends doing. No, if my hips break, I just be like, oh, this is painful. A bunch of things that are out of my power, and then my friends just being them, just like so much of them, more than I can tolerate.
Yeah, it's sensory overload for sure.
Yeah,
I think that'll do it. And it'll be something little that like sets you off too. You like go to type something and you'll spell it wrong, and then you'll go to fix it and spell it wrong again, and you'll snap. You'll break your keyboard in half, you'll punch the monitor, like you're off the scene.
they're just done forever. Yeah, I'll just be like, I'm gonna fucking go work at a Payless or something now. I'm fucking
Yeah,
done.
you're just gonna go punch the wall for like 20 minutes.
Just never talk to any of you guys again.
Yeah,
That's my magnum opus right there, though. That's how I find peace.
that's your Magnus Carlsen. How about what's his name? Tiger Woods doing NASCAR.
Do a NASCAR?
Yeah, you didn't see?
How are you gonna? That's a terrible joke.
Oh, it's not a joke. He crashed. That's what happens in NASCAR.
He said, "Do a NASCAR, roll over in a fire." Jesus, Kyle, is he okay?
He's
at least.
fine. Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
hilarious then.
he's a little beaten up, but like nothing's. I don't think
Is he
seriously
walking?
injured. I don't know.
Let's see.
He's alive. I know that.
Kyle really is a Phil Mickelson fan. Jesus.
I do like Phil. Philly boy. I like the lefty. He's a good southpaw.
Tiger Woods won't face charges.
Oh, he broke his. Marshawn Lynch broke his leg and still finished a touchdown.
Did he?
I don't know if that's true. But yeah. Mike Tyson broke his spinal cord and won the match.
Greg
That's not-
Jennings was the
that's
team
not
on
true.
his back.
He said he broke his back and then said spinal, but he didn't actually.
Suffers
break his
multiple
back.
leg injuries in single. That
That's
man might
fine.
never golf again.
You don't need a leg.
I had multiple
With
open
his skill?
fractures. Ooh.
Give him 6 months. He'll be fine.
What's with the hate of Tiger, dude? What's that about, dude?
I love Tiger. He's one of the best sports athletes of all time.
Didn't know that you
Breaking
hated him
news:
so
Kyle
much.
Jordan makes up sport. Careful on the last name, dude. It's freaking weird. God damn. They think my last name is Joe. Idiots. um, actually, so when I was watching a stream the other day, when you said I just popped in when I was actually watching it for like an hour, you were having an interesting conversation, just about like your career in general and how to like get in more viewers. You wrote up like a whole spreadsheet. Do you remember that?
Hmm.
I have a recommendation from my professional point of view of living
I
because I
thought
am a
that you were
loving
gonna say I have an
professional.
erection, and I was like, I thought that I was the only one that makes me feel much more comfortable. Go ahead.
No, I'm clothed. I'm clothed. My good friend clothed. Um, how many hours a week do you stream right now?
Um,
Realistically, on
Maximum of
average.
30, minimum of 18.
Okay. And how much time do you spend on like
Everything.
outside of work? So
Everything.
like what?
Outside of streaming,
Yeah, like making videos and
all the
stuff
time.
like that. Oh, I know it's not all the time. I want you to give me a realistic number.
I can't give you a realistic number because I'm literally. I watched a Ludwig video about it recently where he said he's always on. I'm always on. Like there's always some form of work that I'm doing. Actively sitting at my computer, I don't know, at it. I probably work 60 hours plus a week.
So you spend more time not streaming than you do streaming.
Yes. It used to be the inverse of that. We have to make him take naps, yeah.
What?
Chat has to yell at me.
When did it change? What changed it?
Devin Nash videos and probably Harris Heller videos. I spend a lot of time social media marketing.
Okay.
I put out like 8 videos in 4 days last week.
Since it's going to be a few questions. I just want to get some information.
Okay.
Since you start, because I mean, I feel like it's good to talk about this stuff anyway, just in general. Since you switched and started doing it, what have you noticed changed in
Right now,
terms of
nothing really.
average viewers, live, total subscriptions, total?
Um, Subscriptions are usually gonna float around the same thing. Subscriptions are
Okay.
primarily like based on it will extend over a certain number if I get gifted. Uh, Most of my monetary gains will extend over a certain number if I get gifted subscriptions, bits, donations, etc.
Mhm.
Um, and I haven't gotten more of a. I actually don't think. I don't think that I've gotten anyone, like any one single person that's come over from YouTube. And both my channels are small, but I've made like
I believe it.
200 videos or something. And not all of them are good per se. Maybe to like detract 100 of them because some of them are just like Among Us content. But let's say I made like 50 really good videos and I have the response for it. Um, right now, I think the thing that's helping me the most is stuff that I do on stream. And then I recycle my content a lot, which is really good. It's still again more work for me to edit. Like this stream will be on YouTube later, youtube.com/noblehamel for all your youtube.com/noblehamel needs. Um, you don't promote at the start of the video? Yes, I do. I changed that. Yes, I do.
You started, yeah, you started recently doing that, which I think does help. I think
Yeah.
it'll notice an increase from
I
that.
The thing about making YouTube videos, like the best thing about it right now, and the thing about working on social media, is that I can make a YouTube catalog, and that's the most important thing to the YouTube platform to then bring people back to my Twitch. Because 2 years from now, I get recommended in the YouTube algorithm, and then things just like pop off. They're like, I want to watch these videos from this Twitch streamer that I like, and then it just um, everything really feeds off each other in that. The Discord extends over to my stream. So I bring people into. Let me roll it all the way back to the top. I go on Twitter. I say, blah, 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 want you in my community. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. People come in Discord. They start becoming a part of the community. They see that I stream. People go to stream. They enjoy the stream. They enjoy the content there. They want to see more of it but might have missed it. People then go to YouTube from there, or they want to, excuse me, if they're enjoying the YouTube content, they want to make sure that they can catch up with my new videos and my streams all the time. So then they start following my social media. It's not an exact path like that, but they each branch off, excuse me, in different directions like that, where everything really feeds off of each
Okay.
other.
So here's my follow-up question. Have you noticed when's the last time you noticed an increase in average viewership, average live viewership?
Every month for the last 3
Every,
months.
every month it goes up.
Every month for the last 3 months, it's gone up.
Okay. What about the last how long ago did you start YouTube?
A year and 2 months.
And it was the same time when you started streaming?
3 months after.
So about a year and a half you started streaming. Okay. When was your biggest increase in viewership? Or has it been like steady throughout? Because that's obviously possible
Just
too.
trying to hit like consistent numbers or hitting a higher peak.
Consistent. I don't think peak's very relevant.
I think within the last, so aside from one month where I got rated by a very large streamer.
I remember that, yeah.
Chuck, why you gotta be? My and then there was my injury too. My stuff has gone up every single month since, like, for the past 6 months or something. I will look at it for you in just a second here. Okay. So that raid was back in July, maybe. There
I was
was
gonna say
a
it's like summertime, right?
Yeah, there was a dip in there, and I went down, and I don't particularly know why. I think it's because I stopped playing Apex Legends so much because the game was in a terrible state. But then I dipped down in October, November, and then since then, November, December was up, December, January was up, and then January's been kind of slower, but I'm changing a lot of the ways that I work in this month.
I think but overall you're increasing generally. And
Yes.
that especially recently, I think a big part of it has come from the art challenges, like the social media interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is probably where most of it comes from. Like you said, it's not coming from YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um so okay, so based on everything, I have a suggestion. Um Obviously this is just an outside perspective. Um have you thought about slowing down the YouTube content and increasing the amount of time you stream?
I can't.
Why is that?
It won't be successful.
Why do you think?
Well, it's not why I think, is that you cannot grow through Twitch. There I am not found unless I'm playing something like Among Us, or unless I'm like the top person in a category. Um I'm not found on the platform of Twitch because the way that their pages work. So specifically, if I'm streaming
So
Warzone, for example, it's a very
yeah,
big game. Jesus Christ. There's 30 streamers that are above 5K, 400 streamers that have 0 viewers,
yeah.
4,000 that have 0 to 5 viewers for all the people that are streaming at any given time.
Excuse me. Um. So here's my point. So no one's coming from YouTube right now, or very little,
Mhm.
right? Um. If anyone does come and catch a video, so you put out a video how many times a week? Once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week,
About 3 or
depending on the
4.
week.
I'd say 3 or 4 is a good average, maybe even up to 6.
Say you started putting out 1 to 2. How much time would that save you a week?
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I have 2 channels, so it won't change much. I try and put, so on my main channel it's going to be 3 every 2 weeks, but then I have the second channel.
I'm just saying in total. Say you put out 1 to 2 videos a week.
Um, I could try.
Well, I'm just wondering about how much time do you think that would save you?
Um, to do other work or to sleep.
Just how much time would you spend on those videos? Like, subtract that from the total time.
That'd probably be like 10 less hours in my.
Okay. Um, so I'm not saying, like, you're gonna be working less. I'm just saying, say we were to divide the time differently. Say you stream for 10 hours more instead.
Mhm.
It's just hypothetical. I just wanna, talk about it. Um, you're basing those 10 hours it's almost like it almost feels like gambling. Like, you're gambling 10 hours that could be spent on Twitch, on YouTube, based on the chance that the algorithm catches those videos.
It's not based on the chance of the algorithm. It's the fact that I'm cataloging.
Don't you think you have enough catalog right now?
Yes, but I don't. The thing about Twitch is that I don't exist on Twitch when I'm not live.
No, no, I understand that. I understand that. They're not promoting you, right? You're not
Mhm.
getting front page, right? Like that doesn't happen. Um, my thing is that you have a better chance of people coming into the stream, and this is just my experience as a viewer on Twitch. Um, if people go into a stream or go into Discord and see that the person is actually live and streaming right now, they have a better chance to click on than people finding you through YouTube. In my head, that's what I envision, is that the more time you spend live, the better chance you have that the viewers who stay will actually show up.
I don't think that you're entirely wrong about that, and I think that you increase your hours more like the bigger you get. Um, but I would probably stream even less right now, honestly, if it wasn't my main source of income, as well as like providing content for the people that stick around for a while. Because there's so much more work, there's so much better work that could be done on social media, uh, or YouTube or my Discord in the meantime. It's so say you bring 100 people into a room, you hand out flyers to all of them, and you say it's an optional read. Then you just like break it percentages. So let's say 20% reads the flyer, 5% take it in, and then one person decides to act on whatever the flyer said. I have to cast such a wide net whenever I'm trying to bring people
Mhm.
um, from Twitter, from Instagram. Isn't there a bigger following on Discord to stalk you? People don't really, from my Discord at least, people don't really hop in all the time. If everyone from my Discord hopped into my stream, I'd be a Twitch partner. And I'd also be making a lot more money. But that's just like not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah. But the percentage, so if I do go to all these social platforms and then I bring them into my Discord, then it is really good for me if they decide to click on stream. Then that's a really big plus. Then I have a new viewer that week. Then I have a new person that's stopping in stream, and that's a really, really big plus. But it's the numbers are all very finicky in that with YouTube, you watch it, that's a person that clicked the video and then they move on. With Twitch, like aside from bots or people leaving the video on in the background, like those are people that actively have to click the stream and then keep the browser open, which makes having a higher Twitch number really interesting. When I think about my content in general as well, like we kind of mapped it out the other day, as I'm sure you saw some of, but there's like the Fan Art Friday is so successful right now. It is really, really, really successful in the
Yeah.
consistency that it is and the numbers that it brings in. YouTube is direct to the content. YouTube is direct content the viewer is searching for. Someone searches best Apex kills, they're likely to watch upwards to a dozen VODs, and there's a greater chance of your content being viewed. Watching a random streamer is hoping their content is your style, is example. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say about that, Rooster, is that like um the the amount of people on YouTube is like 7 to 10 times greater, right?
It's much bigger than that.
Yeah, like so to me it feels like a gamble. Like you're putting your eggs into not into one basket, obviously, like you're obviously all over different social medias, but
It's not so
um
much of a gamble as you think because through studying, like you can really cheat YouTube. You can't do the same thing with Twitch because you don't
yeah,
exist.
you could play the algorithm, right?
Yeah, you can really, really cheat YouTube. You cannot do that with Twitch.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I guess you can with Twitch by just like being a titty streamer, but that's
Show
not
some
the same.
titties for sure.
Yeah, YouTube can become the number one streaming platform.
That's possible too, Eric, for sure.
Yeah, but they
That's
won't.
possible.
Did you see that
I don't.
Twitch
I don't
cut
think they will.
Metallica's live stream because they didn't want to get DMCA'd?
Yeah. That's funny. That's really funny.
They did the same thing to Dragon Force too. They gave the Dragon Force the lead guitarist a ban because they were nervous about getting DMCA'd. He's like, it's my music.
How does Hikaru stream different music all day?
I thought he listens to lo-fi primarily.
What? No, he listens to good music all day.
Oh, really?
Is it like a TSM thing? Like, do they have a contract with music?
Maybe.
Like DMCA?
He might
Because
be
that's
using
really
Stream
cool.
Beats.
The hell is Stream Beats?
It's something that Harris Heller developed.
How is that? Huh?
His content is basically making people better at making content.
That's cool.
It's interesting. He had a conversation with Ludwig recently that was very interesting.
Okay, that's interesting. I just wanted to hear what you thought about it.
Yeah, I think one of the
Like,
really interesting perspectives is that, and Ludwig had a great video about it, but a lot of people, like, they see the presentation or they see the video, they don't know how much goes in, how much work that I put in behind the scenes to make sure everything works all the time. There were complaints about the art challenge recently, just like about the time frame and how we can make it better and how we can make it more fair for everyone. And I put it very simply. I was like, I would love for everyone to get an equal chance, but that's going to be fucking 10 more hours of work that I have to do every week. If there's 100 or 1,000 participants in the future, you want me to review every single piece of art? That's no. If
yeah,
I take three, you want me to spend 3,000 minutes looking at every single piece of art in a 1,000 man art challenge? There's no chance. I can't do that. Then I have to edit a fucking 26-hour VOD. Then I have to bring that down to 2 hours of content. Well, it's just me saying, this one's good, this one's good, this one's good, I like this one. It's not possible.
No, it's not realistic, for sure.
If I had more help, I would definitely change my schedule. But right now, and I think viewership's gone down a little bit this month too, but
it might just be the month as well.
Yeah. Right now, I'm in a really good. I wish that I was hiring Rooster. I fucking wish that I was. Fucking wish that I was. So many people have already told me that they want to work for me or with me, and I'm like, I have $0. I'm sorry. If I didn't have to edit, I'd sleep 15 more hours a week. If I didn't have to edit ever. Because I wake up some days and I'm just mad because I know it needs to be done. I'm like, okay, here's spending the next hour and a half to 2 hours in front of my computer. But on top of that, like, the process that goes into me making a video, it's like, the first thing, what's the recent video I made? Not the Valheim video, not that video. Yada yada. Okay, the first thing, I need a topic. So let's say I'm writing a video about a Rubik's Cube. Now, I think that I personally have journalistic integrity. I had journalism classes when I was younger, and my journalism teacher was very honest about that, and like, don't destroy anyone that doesn't need to be destroyed. Make sure you cite your work. So if I'm writing about a Rubik's Cube, I'm going to go, this is making a video on it. I'm going to go in the history of it. If I go in the history of it, that's going to take me a few hours. Then I'm going to need to research world records. Then I'm going to need to see the progression of the world records. Then I'm going to need to see modern cubers. Then I'm going to need to see the different cube categories. Then I'm going to finish writing that. Then I'm going to have to find all the B-roll for that. So all the videos to match up with all the words I said. Then I have to do the voiceover. Then I have to edit it. And then I have to promote it. So like, however long the videos are, I'm making miniature movies every time, in the fact that I'm spending like, if a video is, I have one video that's like 17 minutes long and it took me like 2 weeks to make. Not 2 weeks of work, but it's just like I cannot fit any more time into my
Yeah.
schedule to do this. I remember my first video, my League of Legends video, took like 16 hours of just straight editing because it was when I was first learning. Like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think that's everyone's first hurdle is like, why does this take so long? And then you actually learn like the ins and outs of the programs, and you're like, okay, it's a little better, but like, I still want to eat dinner tonight.
Yeah,
I feel
I,
you.
I spend a lot of time not eating or sleeping or taking as good of care of myself because I'm working so much. Um, I had a conversation with Cody recently, and maybe people have different perspectives, but as we got deeper in the conversation, I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm really good at streaming. Like, I'm a really, really good content creator. I make really good videos. When people come into my stream, they're going to learn something, or they're going to laugh their asses off, or they're going to feel like welcomed and communicated to and acknowledged. And I tested that theory by going into like 30 viewer streams and 2K viewer streams and 20K viewer streams in a day. Like, I'm better than these streamers because it's a competitive market. So you don't normally want to say better, but like, I'm better at what I do than these people. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I think
willing to put in
that's fair
more.
to say because like it's the same thing. Like even like jobs outside, like I don't want to say the real world because obviously this is, but like outside of the internet culture, like there are people who are better at other people's jobs, more qualified, regardless of age, sex, religion, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are just better at the job, and that's just like part of life. Doesn't matter if you're more qualified or not. Doesn't matter what you did before. Some people are just better at the job. Um, and I don't think that's like a weird thing to say. I don't think that's
I
like
think it is on Twitch because to the
sure,
common man, it's
sure.
like, why are you putting him down? He's trying his best.
Yeah, I'm sure he is trying his best, but like
It's just not as good as my best.
yeah.
Good question.
There are many people without degrees and are still way, way more qualified in the area. Yeah, sure. I mean, degrees just show that you went to college and passed, right? You
You
care more about the
care
viewer.
more about the viewer and what you offer. Yeah. I like, we're changing up the taglines. This has been a, maybe it's been a down month. Dude, I've been talking so much today.
I would check Twitch trends because that could just be like this month, right?
Yeah, maybe it's been a down month for me personally because I'm being so experimental. But it's one of those things. It's like a lot of comedians often say, and I told Cody this the other night. A lot of comedians are often like, "Man, that guy that I used to watch was so funny, but then I saw him 5 years later and he was still performing the same set. And I saw him 20 years later and he's still performing the same set. I don't want to
Yeah,
be that guy. I'm gonna be the guy that fucks up and fails on stream all the time, or makes shitty videos so I can get better." So if I have a down month every once in a while, it's like, I'm taking this down month, which a lot of Twitch affiliates would kill for to have double digit viewers. But I'm
yeah,
taking this down month, what is considered a down month. I'm taking this down month to work on all the other projects that I'm working on and to come back and make this place even better. It's like, if I spend 20 hours, don't be the apple of Twitch, please innovate. If I spend 20 hours just sitting down, 20 actual man hours just sitting down and thinking about how I can make all of this better, then it's gonna get better. And I'm also not afraid to fuck up on stream. But I fuck up a lot. Like, so many mistakes.
that's another thing I was gonna bring up just real quick before we take chat questions. A lot of people that I notice love live interaction, right? That's like their favorite thing and why they watch streams is to interact in chat with
Mm-hmm.
the person streaming. Um, so I think that also brings back consistent viewers, brings back people who want to actually like, oh, this he's streaming at this time on this day. This is his schedule. I'm going to join because he responds to my messages and I can have a conversation with them.
Yeah, that's
So I think that's
something I've
important as
received
well.
a lot of compliments on lately. Is like, my chat is so involved in the stream, and that's, I guess, because I'm a good multitasker. But like, I can be the type of person where mid fight in any game that I'm playing, or like if I'm in the middle of like a crazy dungeon or something, or if I'm studying something, I have one eye on chat. I can read, comprehend, process, and give an appropriate enough answer to make them feel engaged while I'm still like producing the content. Like, that's a really good skill, I think, that is going to carry me a very long way. And obviously,
Yeah.
it'll be different if I had 100,000 people in here, but I'm still going to be picking up messages and talking to chat. If chat's moving too fast every second, I see something I like, I'll comment on it and I'll talk about it. But you'll see some streamers that I was watching a 2K viewer streamer the other day, and he was just silent. Like, I could never do that.
Just watching for the gameplay. Yeah.
He was playing Valheim.
I don't know.
I don't know
How does
anything.
he get 2K viewers?
Been around the block. I don't know. Maybe
I
he's a great
guess, yeah.
guy. Maybe it was a down minute.
Yeah, it's
You
possible.
need to slow mode, and I see people. Yeah, I would definitely slow mode it. Anyway, let's take chat questions.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions for myself or the man with the most beautiful hair on the eastern side,
Thank you.
thank you. Please feel free to ask us anything. Not even like within reason. Am I single yet? No, and you have to be in a long line before that.
True.
There are so many, both guys and girls. When am I coming over for dinner? When I have a better spot to cook. I've been getting a lot of tag words lately, like kid tag words. Like I don't know. People are saying like "stan" towards me, like "oh, Noble's so dope" and all that stuff, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's part of like I'm on the way." Like people are saying
Right.
things that I don't understand. I'm on the way.
There's Angel. It's the beard. For sure.
As a meat smoke we game, nice.
For sure. Give us some questions, guys. Give me something to talk about.
But also, even with this too, like when we first started the podcast, the chat was, but Kyle and I will talk for an hour and a half anyway. It's just more fun when you guys are here. But
Yeah.
the chat was like when we first started, when we were at like 3 to 5 viewers. Like it's crazy to actually bring physical people in here, and then they start interacting because they feel comfortable. They feel like it's a fun place to talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Really, really good.
No, we've definitely had like over a dozen active chatters in some of our podcasts. I've noticed.
Have a question? Go for it. Is your background in social media marketing? My background's in nothing. My
His
background.
background is tigers.
Ah! My background is just. What do you guys want to see in a 2D platformer game? I'll answer that in a question. Eric's asking that because he's building a 2D platformer game, by the way.
Nice.
My background. I didn't go to college. I got out of high school with like an okay GPA. I kind of cheated my way through high school. I've just always wanted to help people and give a voice to the voiceless and be someone that can teach and provide things that maybe not everyone has access to. Like, how do I do that? I only started streaming to promote my clothing. It's good clothing, chat. It's real good clothing. But I only started streaming to promote my clothing. The entire reason I started streaming. And I was just like, the more I got into it, because I've always been a funny guy. I'm attractive enough that e-girls will come in here and click on my page, and I can hold a conversation well enough
I miss that Discord.
for even the most awkward of individuals. What clothing? You'll see it eventually. You'll see it eventually. See it eventually. Maybe when we hit like 1,000 subs, then it's gonna be released, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh shit, that's nuts."
Checkers.
You'll see it eventually. What do you guys want to see in a 2D platformer game? Do you want to answer that? I want to see Mario again. Exactly.
You want to see what?
I want to see Mario again from a 2D stream. Excuse me.
I don't know. It's hard to innovate on something like that, right? Like, how do you do what hasn't been done before? It's a very hard question. So there's two routes I think you can go. You go one, you take a game that's been successful and you do your own version of it. The other option is you get very creative and do something that hasn't been done. I'm not creative enough to think of something like that. So I would, if it was me, I would end up playing one of my old favorite games, a remade version of it. If you're creative enough to think of something unique, that people would want to play that hasn't been done before, go for it.
I
I
have
don't
no
know.
answer for that question because I had no interest in the question. You have days where your stream is not your expectation and question what you are doing is even worth it. So I think that's really good for me to say, and I think that like I guess. Actually, technically, I am. I'm not a big streamer or like a big content creator, but I'm pretty far above average with the numbers that I get just because like the vast majority of people on Twitch have under 5 viewers. Um I will have days where I just like sit and be mad or sit and be hurt because I didn't execute things the way that I want to. There's been a thought in my mind recently that I should be streaming in front of 100 people. We'll say, yeah, I'll say 100 people. I should be streaming in front of 100 people, and not because I feel like I'm entitled to that or like I deserve it. Um, it's because when I've been given those opportunities before to stream in front of a lot of people, to have a lot of eyes on me, I'm always successful every single time. I'm making people laugh. I'm telling a story. People are having fun. People are warm. People are feeling at home. So on those days that I don't get that, like if something happened and I went back under double digit viewers, I'd say something is wrong. Like I am doing something wrong. I am providing the wrong content. I need to change something within myself. I have such high standards for what I want to create and such high standards. That's like why I don't really buy into anyone's criticism because you won't be a harder critic than I am on myself. You won't fucking you these people are not around when I'm just spending time in the shower, like sitting down in the shower at 1 o'clock in the morning,
They could be.
crying. What'd you say?
What?
Cooking?
I said they could be.
It could be. When I'm sitting in the shower at 1 o'clock in the morning, crying, like, what am I doing? I'm making mistakes. Why didn't I jump into something else? When I spend 15 hours editing and a fucking project crashes, like shit like that, that's the shit that people don't see. And I would not, wholeheartedly, I would not recommend anyone to do this unless you have something wrong with you. And you can have something wrong with you in a good way, but for all my friends and for like all people that I really like, they have the opportunity. So like someone like Kyle, if he just continues to be as consistent as he can with the stream, and he's someone that I know has a good work ethic and will show up for the podcast and will continue to be a good guy, and I like him as a person, I think he'd be a good streamer. And he's someone that I can push my viewers towards right now. So like any of my friends that want to do anything in content, the same thing with Anita as well. And Anita, and like even going back in VODs too. Like say it's not today, it's not tomorrow, but it's a year from now where people are like, I fucking love the Two Broken Escalators podcast. I fucking love it. It's my favorite podcast. And then I finish a stream with 1,000 viewers, and everyone's like, oh no, but I don't want you to get off stream. There's like 10 people in there that are like, man, I wish someone else that I liked was streaming. Then I push them over to Kyle, then they're going to be ecstatic. And maybe then they like Kyle more than me too. And we stream on different hours, so we could take over the world in the sense like I'm streaming, and then Kyle's streaming, and then someone else in my community is streaming. And I can always keep passing on the viewers, and then they meet new viewers in there, and it's just like this beautiful cycle of growth. But where I am right now, I don't know anyone, and it's all just me. I'm not here for handouts. I'm not asking anyone to fucking pull me up and put me on the pedestal. I am just clawing my way through the dirt. It's like I'm going to make it for each and every one of you guys, and we're going to have the dopest celebration when we do. I might die on my partner stream, by the way. There's a good chance.
That would be really funny.
World Domination Podcast Edition, World Domination Noble Hamill Edition.
It's going to be a 3-hour podcast that day.
Go King. Let's go. But I see like the verbiage that you guys use now, or I see how you refer to each other, or I see how you revert. Like this is already the start of it. If you guys just mention me in passing when I'm not around, you're like, man, I love Noble stream today, and someone goes, who's Noble? It's like, oh, the stream I really like. That's already the start of it. And all I have to do is just fucking keep being the guy that I am, keep kicking ass, keep being entertaining for you guys, keep being funny. These are all things I can do. These are all things that I can do right in front of you to keep you here. All the crying and shit will be off screen because I don't need you guys to see that. I feel you have such a strong community that people want to help. They want to be involved in your growth. For us, that is payment enough. Yeah, there's like this community is really wonderful in that aspect. They really just like there's everyone's so supportive of each other. Everyone's just trying to figure it out together. Pretty awesome.
It's a little weird. Sometimes I need them to step on me, put me down. I need it. But that's why we have Cody.
You got anything else?
No. There's nothing else in chat. Yeah, I will, Rooster. Don't worry. It's time to go study and go to bed. That's my life.
All right. Stream. It was a beauty today. We went for 6 hours. The podcast will be on YouTube. If you got here in the tail end, the podcast will be on YouTube in the next few days. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you take care of yourself. Actually, I only love some of you. You guys know who you are.